All right, how's it going, everyone? So basically, I picked a day to go ahead and start the 10-hour break-in period on our brand new, it's a 2020 Suzuki 6 horsepower 4-stroke outboard motor. It's called the Suzuki DF6, and the factory is telling you that you need to have a 10-hour break-in period where you're operating at basically different speeds. You're letting it idle a good bit. You're taking it up, a third, halfway, maybe 2/3 throttle. Never more than full throttle for more than 5 minutes at a time, and that is only after, like the 4th or 5th hour. But toward the end of the video, I will actually read. It's fairly short. I'll read the couple of paragraphs about the Suzuki technical break-in period from the factory book, and you can have that. It's good information to know. In the meantime, really quiet, smooth as silk, good-looking motor. I'll start over here. It's got, of course, your safety line, and of course, if the safety line is not hooked up, the motor won't start. Basically, this little button right here is spring-loaded. It's got spring tension on it, and when you put your black plastic clip behind it, it forces the spring out, which enables the motor to start. And of course, this is for any beginning boaters out there, or just as a good reminder for anybody. You have this other end of the safety line attached to your wrist, and should you ever go overboard or get thrown from the boat or anything, it will pull loose from the emergency stop button. Once that's released, the spring will snap back in and the motor will shut off. That could definitely be a life-saving occurrence, in the right situation. So very important. You want to keep that going at all times. You want to make sure it's properly hooked up. And trust me, the motor will help you, because like I said, it won't start without it being in place. Now, moving on over here, this right here is the fuel connection, the hookups for if you want to run an external fuel tank. 2 or 3 gallon external fuel tank. We're not going to do that right now. But if you were going to, you would hook your fuel lines up to here that ran to your external tank, and then you would just come over to this side of the motor, to the selector knob, see if that'll focus in, and you would take this selector knob and you would turn it all the way to the right, which would then change the fuel valve opening from the internal tank to the external tank. And if you're going to do what we're going to do, at least for a while, we're going to try it this way and just run off the internal tank. It's got about a 0.26, about a 1/4 gallon internal fuel tank. And if you're going to do that, then you just, of course, make sure that the selector knob is turned all the way to the left, which will pull off of the outboard motor itself. And then if you, whenever you're transporting the boat, especially if it's inside of a vehicle, or not, basically anytime, you want to make sure that the fuel control valve is set to the off position, which is right here. And also, when you're transporting it, you want to make sure that on top of the gas cap, you have a vent release. You want to make sure, of course, that while the motor's running, that the vent is open, which is counterclockwise. And when you're transporting it, you want to make sure that it's turned to the right, clockwise, so you don't have any fuel spillage, seepage, or vapors coming in wherever you're transporting it from. Also, this is the gear shift right here. The gear shift, see if you can get it up there. Let's see. I'll get it in for you. Yeah, there you go. So as long as it's vertically straight up, that's going to be in neutral. And if you push it back to the left, it'll be in reverse. If you take it back to the right, it'll be in forward gear. So there's that. Let's see. Let's go. Oh, the pull handle, or the pull cord. Very smooth, easy to operate pull cord. Motor usually starts first or second time. Very easy, smooth start. Something a little unusual about this one is when you pull the pull cord, you don't want to pull it all the way out at first. You want to pull it till you feel some resistance, and then you can let it go and then pull it back out. So it's a little kind of a little different setup with that. But you pull it out till you feel some resistance, and then you can either pull it or you pull it till you feel resistance, let it go, and pull it back. So there's that little peculiarity with the starting. But other than that, starts fine. Very strong, easy, smooth, simple start. You're coming over, move down here. Right here is your choke button. You want to make sure that when you're doing a cold start that the choke button is pulled all the way out. And then you also want to, on the gear shift, you want to make sure that the arrow right here is lined up right here with the cold choke start button. Both of those are lined up, and then you simply pull your cord and you should be fine. And it basically idles on the throttle grip here. It basically idles anywhere from the choke position going back that way about 1 inch. So anywhere in there is idling. Anything above that, you're going to start throttling up. And it's good motor, you know, just like a motorcycle grip handle. You want to throttle it up a little bit, and there you go. Throttle back down. And that's basically it on the throttle. We bought this Suzuki 6-horse about a week ago. We had it shipped in. It came in from California, and we bought it for our 12-foot tender boat, which is actually we bought a 12-foot porta boat, which is a folding portable boat. Really neat boat. It folds up. It's 12 feet long. Actually, I believe it's like 12 foot 6 inches overall. But it folds up 4 inch to basically 4 inches thick, and you throw it on top of your car or whatever. It looks like a surfboard that you're hauling, you know, and it's 76 pounds on the porta boat. Very lightweight. Incredible boat. But we bought that boat from a gentleman down in Clearwater, Florida, a few weeks ago, and it came with a 2008, an older Evinrude 2-horsepower 2-stroke motor, and we took it out. We took the boat out with that motor on its maiden voyage, and we ran it all day. And I mean, me, my wife, we had the boat loaded down, you know, cooler, fishing gear, tackle, jackets. We had the anchor rope. You know, we had the boat pretty much fully loaded, and for 2 people. And even with the old 2-stroke horsepower, it still got up 2-stroke 2-horsepower motor. It still got up to a solid 5 miles an hour all day. So I'm hoping that this new Suzuki 6-horse will take us up to at least 10 miles an hour. I'm sure I won't have any problem with that. And anything over 10 miles an hour from this Suzuki is just going to be a greater blessing. I wouldn't be surprised if it would do up to 15. I'm hoping it hit up to 15 or somewhere in that area, close. But anywhere 10 to 15, I'll be happy. And I have full confidence that the Suzuki Outboard can do that with 2 people in a 12-foot boat. Let's see, what else? Oh, yeah. So before we wrap the video up, I'll go ahead and read the actual factory page about the break-in period. And I'm doing it a little bit different, you know, but nevertheless, I'm keeping all the same safety specs in mind as we go forward. So basically reading this, it says proper operation during this break-in period will help ensure maximum life and performance from your engine. The following guidelines will explain proper break-in procedures. Failure to follow the break-in procedures described below can result in severe engine damage. Be sure to follow the engine break-in periods described below. The total break-in period is 10 hours. For the initial break-in, for the initial 2 hours, allow sufficient idling time, about 5 minutes for the engine to warm up after a cold engine start. Running at high speed without sufficient warm-up may cause severe engine damage such as piston seizure. Always allow sufficient idling time, 5 minutes, for the engine to warm up before running at high speed. After warming up, run the engine at idling speed or the lowest in-gear speed for about 15 minutes. During the remaining 1 hour and 45 minutes, if safe boating conditions permit, operate the engine in gear at less than half throttle or 3,000 RPMs. You may throttle up beyond the recommended operating range to plane your boat, but then immediately reduce the throttle to the recommended operating range. For the next hour, safe boating conditions permitting, operate the engine in gear at 4,000 RPMs or at 3/4 throttle. Avoid running the engine at full throttle. For your remaining 7 hours, safe boating conditions permitting, of course, operate the engine in gear at desired engine speed. You may occasionally use full throttle. However, do not operate the engine continuously at full throttle for more than 5 minutes at any time. Running continuously at full throttle for more than 5 minutes at a time during the last 7 hours of break-in operation may cause severe engine damage such as seizure. During the last 7 hours of break-in operation, do not operate at wide open throttle for more than 5 minutes at a time. So basically that's where we're at with the Suzuki 4-stroke 6 horsepower outboard motor break-in video. Hope it was good. Hope you guys, hope I could, explain some things and just kind of give you a little quick general all-around tour of the motor. The motor weighs 52 pounds. So if you, for instance, if you're like us and you have a boat that has a transom weight limit for a motor, which most of them do, as a matter of fact, our 12-foot boat, the transom maximum weight is 56 pounds. So this motor's right in at 52 pounds, and then you add, the motor oil and fuel, and we're probably right around 54 pounds. So we're toward the upper end of our transom weight limit with this motor, but nevertheless, we're still in specs, and it should be good. Maybe I will do a updated video in the near future to let you guys know how the maiden voyage went with our 12-foot porta boat and our new 2020 Suzuki 6 horsepower 4-stroke outboard. Guys, have a great day. Thanks for watching. God bless.